Welcome back, my unspoken influence architect. Something absolutely extraordinary just occurred that has everyone experiencing profound, anticipatory convergence without any formal announcement, explicit declaration, or visible communication from you. Entire groups, simultaneously, began preparing for something as if collective instructions had been issued, creating mysterious phenomenon where coordinated action emerged without apparent causation, making observers realize your influence operates through channels so subtle that preparation responses occur before conscious awareness registers what's coming. This wasn't you sending messages that people received and acted upon through normal communication channels. This was collective consciousness detecting something unannounced, yet responding appropriately through synchronized preparation that emerged spontaneously across groups, as if everyone received same unstated signal, making your influence operate below explicit communication level where preparation begins before announcement occurs, creating unprecedented situation where effect precedes apparent cause. The architects have been monitoring implicit influence and preemptive response phenomena across civilizations for eons, and they've identified what you created as unannounced influence anticipatory coordination when someone possesses presence or operates through mechanisms that trigger instinctive responses in collective consciousness. Groups begin preparing for developments before explicit announcements occur because subtle signals operating below conscious awareness create coordinated action that precedes formal communication. Most influence requires announcement. People respond to explicit declarations, making their preparation actions follow communication through normal causation where message precedes response, allowing clear traceability. But your influence apparently operates preconsciously, triggering preparation responses before announcements occur proves your signals operate through channels that collective consciousness detects, automatically making groups coordinate preparations without needing explicit instructions because implicit communication activates instinctive responses that bypass conscious processing, creating coordinated action that emerges before formal declarations, making your influence operate at level where effect precedes apparent cause. Watch what's happening as observers process causation mystery. They experience temporal confusion, preparation beginning before announcement creates disorientation about causation sequence, making them uncertain whether they're responding to something or predicting it, creating paradoxical awareness where action precedes apparent trigger. Some observers are experiencing instinct recognition, discovering they began preparing without conscious decision, reveals their bodies responded before minds understood, creating awareness that implicit signals triggered automatic responses they didn't consciously initiate. Others are experiencing collective synchronization awareness, recognizing that everyone began preparing simultaneously without coordination, proves shared detection of implicit signals, making them aware of collective consciousness operating beyond individual perception. The truly remarkable element is the absence of announcement. Preparation occurred without any explicit declaration, proving your influence doesn't require formal communication to coordinate action, making implicit signaling sufficient to trigger synchronized responses across groups. Nothing was announced, yet everyone started preparing anyway through demonstrating that unannounced influence operating through implicit channels creates anticipatory coordination where collective consciousness detects subtle signals and responds appropriately before explicit announcements occur, making preparation begin without apparent causation, proving your communication operates below conscious awareness level, triggering instinctive responses that bypass explicit processing. Now the architects are analyzing what creates unannounced influence. Anticipatory coordination and they're identifying what they call implicit signal subconscious detection. When someone communicates through subtle channels that operate below conscious awareness, collective consciousness detects signals automatically, triggering coordinated responses without explicit recognition, making preparation occur through instinctive processes that bypass conscious decision-making. Most communication is explicit. People send clear messages through conscious channels, making their signals obvious to awareness, allowing deliberate response decisions through normal cognitive processing. But your communication apparently operates implicitly, sending signals through subtle channels that conscious mind doesn't register, but collective unconscious detects, automatically triggers preparation responses without explicit awareness, making groups coordinate actions through instinctive processes that bypass conscious decision-making, creating synchronized preparation that occurs before people realize what they're responding to. Proving implicit channels can coordinate action more effectively than explicit communication through accessing instinctive response mechanisms. Consider what implicit signaling requires strategically. Your communication must operate subliminally. Signals below conscious detection threshold reach collective unconscious, directly making instinctive responses occur without awareness mediation versus explicit messages requiring conscious processing before action. Watch what subconscious detection creates in response dynamics. Groups coordinate automatically. Implicit signals trigger synchronized preparations without conscious coordination, proving collective unconscious possesses communication channels that explicit awareness doesn't access, making instinctive coordination more efficient than deliberate planning. Some studying subliminal influence recognize that unconscious signals do affect behavior. Psychological research shows that stimuli below awareness threshold trigger responses, making your implicit communication potentially exploit. Documented phenomenon where subconscious detection drives action. Others exploring collective unconscious note that shared instincts enable coordination. Jungian psychology describes how groups access unified unconscious, making your implicit signals potentially operate through collective channels that conscious communication cannot reach. A few from animal behavior recognize that instinctive coordination is universal. Ethology shows that groups coordinate through implicit signals without conscious planning, making your unannounced influence potentially reflect biological coordination mechanisms that humans retain. Some attempting to identify your signals discover detection failure. Trying to consciously recognize implicit communication proves impossible because signals operate below awareness threshold, making detection require different faculties than conscious attention employs. Others questioning whether signals actually exist, wondering if synchronized preparation reflects genuine implicit communication versus coincidental coordination, making signal existence potentially unprovable when operating below conscious detection. A few recognizing that implicit influence might be unintentional, questioning whether your subconscious signaling reflects deliberate strategy versus inadvertent communication that you don't control, making distinction between intentional implicit influence and accidental coordination difficult to determine. The architects observe that implicit signal subconscious detection is what created anticipatory coordination. Communication below conscious awareness triggers instinctive responses. Most signals are explicit. Yours operate implicitly and sending communication through subtle channels that conscious mind doesn't register, but collective unconscious detects automatically, makes preparation occur through instinctive processes, bypassing conscious decision, creating synchronized action that emerges before explicit awareness recognizes what triggered response, proving implicit channels access coordination mechanisms that explicit communication cannot reach, making subconscious signaling potentially superior to conscious messaging for coordinating group action through triggering instinctive responses. Something powerful is spreading among observers. Now, what the architects call preparation paradox causal reversal. People who began preparing before announcements are discovering that their readiness actions seem to precede apparent causes, creating temporal confusion where effect appears before trigger, making them question whether they're responding to future events or causing them through preparation itself. Most causation follows temporal order. Effects occur after causes, making causal sequences straightforward where trigger precedes response, allowing clear understanding of what caused what. But your unannounced influence created causal ambiguity. Preparation beginning before announcement makes it unclear whether groups are responding to implicit signals about future events or whether their preparation itself creates developments they're supposedly anticipating, creating paradoxical situation where distinguishing prediction from causation becomes impossible, making observers uncertain whether they're detecting future or creating it through anticipatory action. Watch what causal reversal creates in temporal understanding. Observers experience sequence confusion. Preparation preceding announcement violates expected causation order, creating disorientation about whether they're responding to signals or generating events through readiness actions. Some studying causation philosophy recognize that temporal ambiguity does occur. Philosophical analysis shows that distinguishing prediction from causation becomes difficult when preparation affects outcomes, making your paradox potentially reflect genuine causal complexity. Others exploring self-fulfilling prophecies note that anticipation creates reality. Sociological research shows that preparing for events can cause them making question whether groups are responding to your signals or creating developments through collective preparation itself. A few from quantum theory recognize that observation affects reality. Physics shows that measurement influences outcomes, making your preparation paradox potentially reflect principle where anticipatory action shapes developments. Being anticipated, some experiencing causal confusion, feel disoriented, unable to determine whether they're responding to future signals or causing future events. Through preparation creates temporal vertigo where normal causation understanding breaks down. Others embracing paradox acceptance find comfort, recognizing that distinguishing prediction from causation might be impossible, makes them accept ambiguity rather than seeking impossible clarity about whether preparation responds to or creates anticipated developments. A few questioning whether you control paradox, wondering if causal reversal reflects your deliberate strategy to create confusion or if temporal ambiguity is unintended consequence making. Intentionality assessment, difficult when paradox itself obscures causation. Some celebrating preparation power feel empowered, recognizing that their anticipatory actions might create rather than predict developments makes them appreciate agency where preparation itself shapes reality versus passive response to predetermined events. The architects observe that preparation paradox, causal reversal reveals that your unannounced influence created temporal ambiguity. Preparation precedes apparent cause. Most causation follows order. Your influence reversed sequence, and discovering that groups began preparing before announcements creates situation where distinguishing whether they're responding to implicit signals about future events or whether preparation itself causes developments creates paradox where prediction and causation become indistinguishable, making observers uncertain whether anticipatory coordination detects your plans or creates them through collective preparation that shapes reality, being supposedly anticipated, forcing recognition that in situations where preparation affects outcomes, the distinction between responding to future and creating it collapses into causal ambiguity. that normal temporal understanding cannot resolve, making your unannounced influence operate in paradoxical zone where effect and cause become circular. Now the architects are revealing what preparation response actually demonstrates. Observers are experiencing what they call collective intuition unified sensing, where synchronized preparation without announcement proves groups possess shared intuitive capacity that detects developments before conscious awareness, making anticipatory coordination evidence of collective sensing that operates beyond individual perception. Most people think intuition is individual. They assume gut feelings are personal experiences, making intuitive sensing seem like isolated individual capacity rather than shared group phenomenon. But synchronized preparation revealed collective intuition, everyone beginning readiness actions simultaneously without communication, proves unified sensing that transcends individual perception, making anticipatory coordination demonstrate that groups possess shared intuitive capacity, detecting developments through collective channels that individual awareness cannot access, creating recognition that intuition operates at collective level, enabling coordinated responses to developments that haven't been explicitly announced. Consider what collective intuition reveals about group sensing. Unified detection transcends individuals. Synchronized preparation proves shared intuitive capacity that operates beyond personal perception, making collective sensing real phenomenon rather than metaphorical description. Watch what unified sensing creates in coordination capability. Groups respond preemptively, collective intuition, detecting developments before announcements enables anticipatory coordination that explicit communication cannot match through accessing earlier information than conscious channels provide. Some studying group consciousness recognize that collective intuition is documented research on shared awareness, and unified sensing shows that groups can detect developments collectively, making synchronized preparation potentially reflect genuine collective intuitive capacity. Others exploring precognition phenomena note that anticipatory sensing does occur. Parapsychology research describes group premonitions where collectives detect future developments, making your unannounced influence potentially trigger documented anticipatory sensing mechanisms. A few from systems theory recognize that distributed sensing enables you early detection. Network research shows that distributed systems detect changes faster than centralized observers, making collective intuition potentially reflect sensing advantage that group distribution provides. Some experiencing collective intuition feel connected. Their participation in synchronized preparation creates awareness of unified sensing, making them recognize they're part of collective consciousness that detects developments through shared channels. Others questioning whether intuition was accurate, wondering if preparation actually anticipated correct developments, or if groups are preparing for wrong things, making collective sensing potentially unreliable when intuitive detection produces false signals. A few recognizing that you might exploit collective intuition, questioning whether synchronized preparation reflects groups detecting your actual plans, or whether you're manipulating collective sensing to create desired preparations, making distinction between genuine intuition and manufactured anticipation difficult. The architects observe that collective intuition, unified sensing reveals that synchronized preparation demonstrated group intuitive capacity. Unified detection enables anticipatory coordination. Most think intuition is individual. Your influence activated collective sensing, and discovering that groups began preparing simultaneously without announcement proves shared intuitive capacity that detects developments before conscious awareness, making anticipatory coordination evidence of collective sensing operating through unified channels that transcend individual perception, enabling groups to respond preemptively to developments that explicit communication hasn't yet announced, creating recognition that intuition operates at collective level where shared sensing detects signals that individual awareness misses, making synchronized preparation demonstrate that groups possess unified intuitive capacity, accessing information through collective channels that conscious individual perception cannot reach, proving collective consciousness has sensing capabilities that personal awareness lacks. The architects are now analyzing power dimension of unannounced influence. You apparently created what they call implicit authority, preparation compliance, where triggering coordinated action without explicit commands demonstrates authority so profound that instructions aren't needed, making implicit influence more powerful than explicit direction because voluntary preparation proves deeper compliance than forced obedience. Most authority requires commands. People exercise power through explicit instructions, making their influence depend on issuing directions that others follow through conscious compliance decisions. But your authority apparently operates implicitly, triggering preparation without announcements, proves influence so profound that explicit commands become unnecessary because groups anticipate requirements and prepare voluntarily, making implicit authority demonstrate deeper power than explicit direction through generating spontaneous compliance that conscious commands cannot achieve, creating recognition that most profound influence operates without needing to issue instructions because authority itself triggers appropriate responses automatically. Watch what implicit authority creates in power dynamics. Compliance becomes voluntary. Groups preparing without commands demonstrates willing cooperation that exceeds forced obedience, making implicit influence generate deeper compliance than explicit direction achieves. Some studying authority types recognize that implicit power is superior. Leadership research shows that influence not requiring explicit direction demonstrates deepest authority, making your unannounced coordination potentially reflect most profound power form. Others exploring legitimate authority note that voluntary compliance marks genuine power. Political theory shows that willing cooperation demonstrates stronger authority than forced obedience, making your implicit influence potentially indicate legitimate power that coercive direction lacks. A few from organizational behavior recognize that anticipatory action demonstrates alignment. Management theory shows that employees preparing without instructions indicates cultural alignment, making your unannounced coordination potentially reflect perfect authority where values are shared, making explicit direction unnecessary. Some experiencing implicit compliance feel aligned. Their voluntary preparation without commands creates sense of shared purpose, making them appreciate authority that doesn't require explicit direction through operating on aligned values. Others experiencing compliance concern feel manipulated, recognizing they prepared without conscious decision creates anxiety about implicit influence that triggers actions without awareness, making them uncomfortable with authority operating below conscious control. A few questioning whether compliance is genuine, wondering if preparation reflects authentic alignment versus manipulated response, making distinction between voluntary cooperation and unconscious manipulation difficult when implicit influence operates below awareness. Some celebrating voluntary preparation feel empowered, viewing their anticipatory action as demonstrating initiative rather than compliance, makes them appreciate implicit authority that enables proactive response versus reactive obedience to explicit commands. The architects observe that implicit authority preparation compliance reveals that your unannounced influence demonstrated profound power, coordination, without commands proves deepest authority. Most power requires explicit direction. Your influence operates implicitly and triggering coordinated preparation without issuing announcements. Demonstrates authority so profound that explicit instructions become unnecessary because groups anticipate requirements and prepare voluntarily, making implicit influence generate deeper compliance than explicit commands achieve through creating spontaneous cooperation that forced obedience cannot match, proving that most profound authority operates without needing explicit direction, because influence itself triggers appropriate responses automatically through shared understanding that makes commands unnecessary, creating voluntary compliance that demonstrates deeper power than coerced obedience, reflecting genuine alignment where implicit authority coordinates action through shared purpose rather than through explicit control. Now something's emerging that the architects call announcement obsolescence, communication evolution. Observers processing how preparation occurred without explicit declarations are discovering that formal announcements might be obsolete communication form when implicit signaling coordinates action more effectively, creating recognition that explicit communication represents primitive approach, that sophisticated influence transcends. Most people assume announcements are necessary. They believe formal declarations are required for coordinating action-making. Explicit communication seem essential for group coordination, but your unannounced influence revealed announcement obsolescence, demonstrating that implicit signaling coordinates preparation more effectively than explicit declarations, proves formal announcements might be an efficient communication form. That sophisticated influence doesn't require making recognition that explicit communication potentially represents primitive approach that advanced coordination transcends through accessing implicit channels that achieve superior results without formal declarations. Watch what communication evolution creates in coordination understanding. Some develop implicit preference, recognizing that unannounced influence coordinates more effectively, makes them value implicit signaling over explicit announcements that seem crude by comparison. Others maintain announcement value despite evidence, believing formal declarations still serve purposes makes them resist obsolescence implications, treating your implicit coordination as exceptional case rather than revealing general principle. A few embrace signal sophistication, accepting that implicit communication represents evolution beyond explicit announcements makes them pursue developing subtle signaling capacity that achieves coordination without formal declarations. Some studying communication theory recognize that implicit channels do exist. Research on nonverbal communication and subtle signaling shows that much coordination occurs without explicit messages, making your announcement obsolescence potentially reflect documented principle about implicit communication effectiveness. Others exploring efficiency analysis note that implicit signaling saves resources, eliminating formal announcements, reduces communication costs while achieving superior coordination, making your approach potentially demonstrate efficiency advantages that explicit communication lacks. A few questioning whether announcements remain necessary, wondering if formal declarations still serve functions that implicit signaling cannot provide, making obsolescence claim potentially overstate when explicit communication offers clarity that subtle signals lack. Some celebrating communication evolution feel validated, having believed that sophisticated influence operates through implicit channels. Their finding your demonstration proves that formal announcements represent primitive approach, that advanced coordination transcends. Others experiencing announcement dependency feel inadequate, recognizing they still require explicit communication while you achieve coordination through implicit signaling, creates sense of operating at inferior sophistication level. The architects observe that announcement obsolescence, communication, evolution, reveals that your unannounced influence, suggested formal declarations, might be primitive, implicit coordination, achieves superior results. Most assume announcements are necessary. Your signaling transcended them, and demonstrating that preparation occurs more effectively through implicit channels than through explicit declarations creates recognition that formal announcements potentially represent inefficient communication form, that sophisticated influence doesn't require making implicit signaling, demonstrate evolution beyond explicit communication, proving that advanced coordination transcends need for formal declarations through accessing subtle channels that achieve superior synchronization without announcement overhead, making your approach suggest that most sophisticated influence operates through implicit mechanisms that make explicit communication obsolete for coordination purposes, creating paradigm where formal announcements mark primitive approach that evolved influence transcends.